Hi, Room 10. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a torn paper snowman. I have been making these snowmen for many years, but unfortunately I don't have a sample here at home with me to show you. So I'm going to make my sample right here as I show you all of the steps for making your own snowman. When we've made these in the past in Room 10, it would take 2 or 3 days to finish. So if you get tired as you're working on it, go ahead and take a break. Come get back to it on another day and finish it up then. You don't need to finish everything in one sitting. I do recommend that you watch the entire video so you'll know all of the steps before you start. And you can always rewatch any parts if you don't remember what to do. So I'm going to go over what the supplies are first. This is everything that you are going to need. At our last supply pickup, I gave you some construction paper clipped together. And I said, hold on, it's for an art project. This is that art project. So you'll be needing that. You're going to need a pencil, and only temporarily will you need a pencil. We'll be putting that away very soon. And you're going to need a glue stick. That is all. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, I'm going to unpaper clip these. I'm going to put things aside. We do not need these small pieces of construction paper yet. And we actually are only going to be using one sheet of the blue construction paper. So some of the other construction paper, you'll get to save that and use that for something else on another day. We're going to start with this, like I said, and step number 1 is you're going to need to kind of plan out your snowman to make sure you have enough room. And a snowman has 3 body parts. We're going to have the bottom, the middle, and then the head. And you're going to want to leave some room up here at the top to have a hat of some sort, and it can be whatever hat you want. We also don't want to make our snowman super teensy tiny because that's not very exciting. We want to use as much of the paper as possible. So we kind of have to plan it out. We're going to want a bottom, a middle, and a head. So I'm kind of thinking, I think my bottom is going to be pretty wide. So I'm kind of planning out the bottom, and here we go. Now I know it's hard for you to see these marks, but just know that I'm doing them. Then you're going to do your next half circle up over the top, and then you're going to do your head. And I've left a little bit of room here, and I'm realizing as I look at this video, it's very hard. I'm going to go a little darker to see if you can see that. I will go a little darker. You do not need to do it quite so dark because you'll be able to see it, but on the camera, it's a little bit hard for you to see it. So there, those are a little bit darker so you can see the 1, 2, 3 body parts. Now, your pencil gets set to the side. You will not be using that again. And it's time to pull out one of the sheets of the half sheets of the white construction paper. And what you're going to be doing now, this is going to be the snow to put on your snowman. And you are going to be tearing these pieces into dime size shapes. And I just brought the dime out to show you kind of what it's like. They do not have to be perfect. And I'm going to recommend you just kind of start tearing and get yourself a little pile. See, they're not perfectly dime sized. It's just a kind of a good example. So what you're doing right now is you're making your snow. Don't get impatient. Don't make them too bad, or too big, not too bad. They couldn't be bad. Don't make them too big. You want them to keep about dime size, maybe nickel size. That's fine. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to tear until you've torn up really all of this paper. As you come to the end of this, you'll finish up your pile, and you want to have a good sized pile of snow before you start gluing, because you don't want to have to keep going glue, back to the pile, glue, tearing more. You want to have a good pile to go with. Now, one of the reasons we do it as torn paper instead of using scissors, we don't use any scissors for this, is see it has these rough edges, and they look kind of soft, and it makes it look like fluffy snow. So we are ready to start gluing. Now, you'll go ahead and uncap your glue and turn it up a little bit. What you're going to want to do is just put glue in a small space. You don't want to put glue all over it because the glue will dry before you get a chance to put all the paper down. So just do a small space at a time. So you can see what I'm doing. We want the snow, I guess in a way these are snowflakes, aren't they? We want the snowflakes to overlap each other a little bit. And you want to follow that pencil outline, whoops, that you have made so that you get that kind of round snowman body shape. And you're going to keep doing this and kind of going all over until you have filled in the entire, whoops, snowman's body. And this is where it takes some time. You have to be patient. And like I said, it's okay if you don't finish it all today in your first sitting. You can do it for a little while, then you can go outside and run around and do something else, maybe do a little math or do some reading, and then you can come back and work a little bit more on your snowman. Now, one of the reasons I also said to have dime-sized pieces, because look how bad this would look if I had a really big piece. That doesn't look as good as these little pieces. They kind of give it a fluffy, they give it a texture. So we're going to cover all of our snowman. So here we go. So as you get to a point in your snowman, you may discover, oh my goodness, you have run out of snow. Well, I gave you a second half sheet that you can make more snow from, so don't feel like you only can use the one. However, when you're doing this, you're going to want to stop. And actually, even if you are just stopping for a little while to take a break, to go outside, to eat lunch, always remember to turn your glue stick down and to put the cap back on it so that it doesn't dry out, because glue sticks dry out really easily. And then you can go ahead and you can take some time to tear some snow from your second half sheet of paper. If for some reason the two half sheets aren't enough, I did give you some large sheets of white paper that you can use also, but the two half white sheets should really be enough. Okay, I think I am pretty happy with the shape of my snowman. And I didn't tell you, this is a sticky project, so always your fingers are going to get sticky. Always feel free to go wash your hands or get a baby wipe or something to get the sticky off. Now is the fun part. We need to start thinking about how we're going to decorate our snowman. And this is where you can be as creative as you would like. You do not have to do it the same way I do it. We left room for a hat up here, so we can put a hat there. You can put whatever kind of hat. You could put like a Santa Claus stocking hat, kind of like, for those of you that were there when I read the story, Sneezy the Snowman, like he had the stocking cap. You might do something like that. Oops, I dropped my glue. You might put a top hat. I've had students give their snowman hair. It's really up to you what you want to do. I'm going to go pretty traditional, and I'm going to do a hat. I'm going to do a top hat, and I'm going to do it with black paper. Once again, we are going to tear. Now this, we might want to think about just a quick outline of what we want to do. So I'm going to kind of, okay, I'm going to give my snowman a top hat. I don't want a lot of pencil marks. So I'm going to kind of, and I do want to use as much as I can. Okay, just a really light outline. Okay, I think I'm good with that. Once again, we are just going to tear little pieces. And oh, that's very hard for you to see those torn pieces. I'm going to put a piece of brown so you can see that I have a lot of little torn black pieces too. So I'm going to tear a few little pieces so that I can build my hat with torn paper. You are going to be so tempted at this point to say, oh, can I use a pair of scissors? And the answer is no. This is a torn paper snowman, so we want to just use torn pieces of paper. So I'm looking at my outline I had here. Okay, I'm going to kind of, I want the hat to go across my snowman's head like that. So I'm going to kind of build it in like this. Because I want it to sit a little bit on his or her head. It could be a girl. I haven't decided yet. I will have to think about that. I should call him this should be a snow person, because I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. You might find sometimes that, oh, that's a little too big, so I'm going to tear the piece I have in half a little more. Okay, I think I'm pretty good with that. I'm going to build part of the hat up here, so let me go with that. And with this, whoops. Oh, I told you guys this is a sticky project. My fingers are sticky and the paper is sticking to it. This is where it's tricky because we never know exactly how much of the other colors we're going to need. So you might find yourself stopping to tear a little bit as you are doing it, which is what I'm doing. And I'm also a very bad estimator, so I never know quite. I'm going to put some more glue down there. I never know how much paper or how much of something I'm going to need. I'm not good at guessing. So here we go. And more in, okay. And I'm just going to fill in the rest of the hat. And then I'm going to go ahead and put all of the black down. Okay, so there I have my top hat done. Like I said, you do not have to do a black hat like that. You could do a stocking cap, you could do hair, you can do whatever you choose. While I have the black paper, I'm going to go ahead and put a face on my snowman because I know that I'm going to want to do black eyes. And I have my black paper here, so I might as well do it now. Now I'm going to warn you, the face is going to be the toughest part because I want to get it pretty small. So I'm going to do 2 eyes. And if I were to set them there, I'm like, I think those are a little too big. They're a little bigger. So I'm going to just keep kind of tearing them down until I get them. Okay, that one's pretty good. I want to get it about the same. I'm going to take a little piece off. Once again, I'm just tearing. I'm just going. I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. So this is probably, I'm going to put a little bit here. And okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to put a little dot here. Okay. And then now I want my snowman to have a nose, and it's a very traditional to have a carrot nose. So I'm going to grab my orange paper and I'm going to make a carrot nose. And a carrot is like a triangle. So I'm going to use an edge. I know this is a cut edge. It's not torn. That's okay. For this time, I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to tear and I'm going to see if I like. Oh, I think I got lucky. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, you don't have to do 2 eyes and a nose. And I don't think I'm going to do a mouth. I'm going to choose not to do a mouth, but you could always do a mouth if you want to. It is totally your choice. I don't want all of our snowmen to end up looking exactly, the same. So really be creative. Okay, so I'm happy with my face. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to add any more. I'm not going to throw this orange away. I might use it for something later on. Even if you don't use it at all for your snowman, save it. Conserve the paper. You might use it for another project or something for a Find Your Flair Friday. I don't know. I'm going to set those aside because my poor snowman does not have any arms. And snowmen usually have stick arms, so I'm going to use the brown for that. Now, I made a really fat snowman, so there's not a lot of room for arms here. So I have to think about this. There's a little more room on this side, so I'm going to have a stick coming out, and I think he's going to have his hand on his hip, kind of. So that one's going down. But then this one, I think I'm going to have him waving. So I'm just doing, kind of giving myself a guideline for my brown. Now, this is going to be tricky because stick arms are really skinny. So I'm just going to, once again, I don't want to do big long strips, but I want to do some little skinny strips. I don't want it to be one big piece. I'm choosing, I want to have like a little bit more texture. So I'm cutting some little, I think even that one's too long for me at least. I'm going to tear some little skinny strips. so that I can make arms. Once again, you might have a different idea for how you want to do the arms. That is totally your choice. I want to see how creative you can be. Now, as you know, I'm a terrible estimator, so let's see how many more I'm going to need. So I'm going to do like the upper arm here first. So let's, oh, I'm going to be funny because we usually have more muscles in our upper arm. So I'm going to put the bigger, thicker piece up here. Here's one thick piece. And let's do the other thick piece right there. Okay, I might need to add a little more glue there. Then I'm going to do this part. Oops. And I'm going to have the arm go down. That's sticky stick arm. And the next part coming down. Now I put fingers on mine. You don't have to. I put 3 fingers coming out. One. I kind of want to pick the skinnier ones. That makes more sense for the fingers, I think. Oh, that's pretty skinny. Oh, it's kind of a big finger. Okay, I've got one arm on there. I'm going to push those aside. I'm definitely going to need to make a few more of these. So I'm going to tear a little bit more so that I have a few more for the other arm that's going to be waving. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with that. He's got his hand on his wave. He's waving. Now, once again, you don't have to do the same gestures. You can make yours look however you want. Don't leave scraps all over the floor at your house. You'll want to clean those up afterwards. I'm just going to set them aside for right now. Now, I told you this is the fun part. This is even more fun. You have to decide what your snowman is going to be wearing. The tradition is to have some buttons and to have like a scarf. You might do a bow tie. Maybe you'll give your snowman clothes. I don't know. I think I am definitely going to do some buttons, and I'm going to go back to my black sheet of paper, and I want to make maybe 1, 2, 3 buttons going down. So, oh, that's kind of big. Let's see what I come up with next. Okay, the others are a little too big. I want to make them as round as I possibly can because I want them to kind of look like buttons. So I'm going to tear them down a little bit. Let's see what I think. How does that? Actually, I like that size. That's pretty good. So let's see if I can get the other ones torn to about the same size. They are not perfect because we're tearing them. There's no way to make it perfect. But we want them to be kind of. And once again, like I said, you do not need to do buttons if you don't want to. This is just my choice. My fingers are super sticky right now, so I'm sticking to everything. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put first button right about there. Next button right about there. And my third button right about there. You might have 4 buttons, you might have 2 buttons, you might have none, but no buttons. Your choice. Now, I have to decide what I want to do around my snowman's neck. You could be done now if you want, or you can add more. And I want to add a scarf. I have to decide what color. Now, I gave you lots and lots of different colors. So you can choose from any of these colors. We're not going to use all of them. There's no way. There's not enough room. You could do like, you can do a scarf all one color. You can do a scarf multiple colors. It's your choice. I did give you blue. Be careful that you don't make everything blue because then it won't show up because this is the same color blue. But of course you could totally do blue if you want to. I don't think I'm going to do blue. I could do Christmassy colors. I don't know if I want to do Christmas colors. Let's see. I think I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a yellow and a red. So people sometimes when they knit scarves, the scarves are in blocks. So I think I'm going to have like a block of yellow. Oops. Gotta roll this up again. I'm gonna have a block of yellow around his neck right there. So here's the first, that's the yellow part of the scarf. And then I'm gonna do a part that's red. You might have a different color, you might have different patterns, you might not be doing a scarf at all. Let's have my red go that direction. And then I'm gonna tear off another. probably should have torn the red before I put the glue down. I hope my glue does not dry. Okay, there, so that goes across, and I think I'm going to have it dangling down a little bit. Let's do some yellow coming down. And then some more red coming down. And you can make, if you make a scarf, you can make it as long as you would like or as short as you would like. Now I realize most scarves have two ends to it. Do I want to do another end over here? I'm just going to lay it out and see if I want to do that. I'm not sure. Oops, that's too big. I'm not sure I'd like that because I kind of like it the way it is. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to see if I want to do. And I can always, I'm not gluing these down. I'm just testing it to see if I want to leave this at a little bit more, like another side to the scarf. Oh, I might be liking that. Yes, I think I'm going to do that. So, okay, so I'm going to move these. This one kind of got stuck automatically. I'm going to put that down. So you can always lay things down, test them, see if you like it, and then glue it down later. Oop, go back down. Okay. When you're done, always clean up your cap. Make sure it's rolled down and your cap lid is on. Make sure all of your little scraps of paper get cleaned up. You don't want to leave those all over the place. You're going to want to make sure, save this paper. This is still a lot of good paper that you can use for something else. So save this. You might make something with it. So keep that. I am going to keep mine too. So now, there you have it. We have a torn paper snowman that we can decorate and we can put in our house for the holidays. I can't wait to see what your torn paper snowman looks like. Are you going to put hair on yours? Are you going to give it a top hat like mine? A stocking cap? What are you going to do? What colors are you going to do? Make sure that you take a picture of your snowman and post it for me on Seesaw. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have fun.